Peace and blessing, family. It is yours truly, Amal Mari. I am the founder of El Kebalan Unity Alliance. And we focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well being. Additionally, the knowledge of self. And I thank everybody so much for tuning in to these mastermind sessions. I believe that these sessions are life transforming. And this is what we're here to do. It's not about fame, it's about transforming lives. And as our good brother Quanick say, I do it for the love. I don't do it for the likes. And today's mastermind session is going to deal with our external issues that we are having on a global scale. And the only way that we can remedy these things outwardly is first we must deal with ourselves internally. In order for us to be able to exit outside of the external situations that we're having, we have to first go internally. There first must be an internal transformation in order for there to be an external transformation. So even the issue that we're dealing with via racism, we're still dealing with issues internally. All of these things that we're dealing with, the violence, the crime, drugs, alcoholism, people turn to those external things trying to handle an internal problem. And the issue is that some people do not comprehend the fact that they cannot handle a spiritual problem with a natural substance. Okay? The issues that we're dealing with stems from a mentality. We must first deal with our mental faculty first. Okay? And it's multiple issues that we're dealing with. And I'm going to go down the line of them. I'm going to condense it and hit on it in this period of time that we're having right now. First, the parental mindset must transform. And this comes from a generational domino effect of ignorance. Okay? Also, it comes from a toxic mindset of not being able to do something, not having the ability, not having the wherewithal, which we have all been blessed with the power to do for ourselves. And until we understand that we're capable of doing that, we will continue to be in a position of a beggar. We must first have confidence in self, ourselves individually, and then once we have confidence in ourselves individually, then we can have confidence externally in other people other than ourselves. However, we must also understand that it is trust. Trust is something that is earned. And I'm gonna slow it down because my mind is going real fast right now. You know, this came to me this morning and it's burning on the inside of me. You know, a mind of a burning fire. We used to say we was in the church. You know, it feel like fire shut up in my bones. Can't contain it. You know what I'm saying? But I was just listening to some dialogues, and I seen a video, and I give thanks to the creator for Brother Ben X. I was watching one of his videos, and I'm one of the top fans on there and what have you. And I had posted a statement in regards to what I had seen, because it was a mother that was on there crying. It was, matter of fact, it was multiple mothers on there that were crying due to the pain of the loss of their children. And I put the statement on there. I said that, listen, we have to ban gangster rap. Okay. Two individuals came on there. Matter of fact, three wanted to argue with me. Oh, it's the parents and things of this nature. It's a equal responsibility. And in one of Nas' songs, Nas said it himself. He said, name a rapper that I didn't influence. And when you listen to most rappers, majority of them would say they were influenced by another rapper. And when we understand the culture of hip hop, I believe that a lot of time as elders in the community, we don't take out enough time to get an understanding about what is the problem? Where is this problem stemming from? A lot of times we're so quick to comment on things, and we talk about the problem so much, And I don't hear enough within the community about what the solution is to the social ills that have been plaguing our community for centuries. This is something that has been plaguing us for an extensive period of time, right? And so what we have to go back to is moral values. This is something that is really lacking, because if one was taught not to partake of corruption, not to say that it wouldn't happen at all, because as we all know, those of us who are wise, we understand that after an individual is taught, it's upon them to implement what they're taught. However, for the most part, most of us who was raised right, we made right decisions because we were taught right. So we had the right mentality. And because we had the right mentality, it made us, influence us to make the right choices, which caused us to be on the right path, right? So most of the corruption that we're seeing is because the only thing that's been instilled in our adolescence, okay, in our younger people who are in their adolescence, okay, our teenagers, is unfortunately it's the corruption of gangster rap. And not only that, it's also the foul lyrical content that they're listening to in R&B, certain R&B songs. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with R&B, and there's nothing wrong with the genre of hip hop. Neither one. There's nothing wrong with neither one. Listen, what the issue is simply the content. A lot of us don't understand how powerful words really are. Some people say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That is not true for some. Okay, for the most part, there's a lot of people today with low self-esteem because of their loved one speaking condescendingly to them. Okay, it's someone that they love. Most people today are in mental trauma because they've been traumatized by someone who they actually love. Most trauma, even crimes, most crimes, and we got to understand this, is very logical. Okay, most of the crime happened from us because we live amongst ourselves. Okay, it's very simple, right? You know, so what can we do to stop these things? First of all, we need to teach our children to be self-employed. Okay, there's nothing wrong with them going to work for someone. However, the reason why a lot of the money is not circulating within the community amongst us is simply because of us not coming back to our, I'm not saying you got to live in the hood. I'm not saying this because, listen, it doesn't make any sense for this to happen because why would somebody live in a war zone? What sense does that make? You know, we have nothing to prove. A lot of us trying to prove, we call it keeping it real. Listen, that is a very foolish thing. It has nothing to do with you being synthetic or being disingenuous with your love for the people because you don't live in a war zone. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm a retired Marine. Okay, so listen, we went into a war zone, but when we came back home, we were relieved because we were in a place of safety then. Okay, we were happy to come back home. We was happy to get out that war zone because outside of the war, listen, the opposite of war is peace. So in other words, who wants to live in a war zone, right? So the hell that we live in, we have to be real with ourselves that we are creating this hell that we are living in. And the only way that we're going to see things transform externally is we have to go on the inside. Okay, so listen, we're having inside issues. Okay, and not only that, we're having external problems with racism. And then not only are we dealing with racism, now we're dealing with self-hate. So not only are we dealing with people hating us externally, we're dealing with hating each other internally. This is a problem. And this problem will not be resolved until we actually become real with ourselves. Alcoholism is not the way. Drugs is not the way. Okay? And let's deal with the truth here. A lot of our people are mentally traumatized. A lot of our people that's hurting other people, they're mentally traumatized. Listen, there's a lot of us walking around with anger and pain. There's men that's been molested. There's women that's been molested. There's men that been abandoned. There's women that's been abandoned. We're pointing the finger at each other. We're blaming each other. We're angry with each other. Everybody is angry and fighting and full of anger and rage and pain and hurt. And we're all in the same area. And now you having us take out that anger and that hurt and that pain on each other. Family, listen and hear me well. I may be a young man, but understand me very clearly. Anybody who's wise, they know wisdom when they hear it. So it has nothing to do with my 42 years going on 43 years of living. I understand this because I grew up in this environment. Prior to me being a retired Marine and being a serial entrepreneur and being one who's a real estate investor and happily married, I grew up in what we call, which I don't like calling it that, is the ghetto. I grew up on welfare. I grew up on food stamps. I seen the poverty. I grew up without a father in my life. I was abandoned when I was 5 years old. My father told me he didn't want to see me no more to my face. I was given away to my grandmother at a very early age. I was bounced around, went back and forth between my mother and my grandmother. I've dealt with the peer pressure. I've seen peer pressure. I've seen our children in our neighborhoods picking on other children that don't have anything, and they're living in the same situation. It's this pride. It's this arrogance. In the hip hop songs, you have the same pride and this arrogance. Oh, I have more than you. Oh, look at me. I'm driving this. You're not driving that. They're laughing at the person. Nigga, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who are you to say something to me? Nigga, I got this Bentley. What do you have? You know what I'm saying? Then our women being called whores. They being called bitches. Listen, understand me. Listen to me very closely. Listen to me very carefully. Excuse me. I'm going to slow it down. Listen to me very carefully, okay? I fully understand that violence occurred before gangster rap occurred. But listen to me. When gangster rap was implemented, it intensified what we were already going through. It's no different than drugs. When you have a problem, when a person turns to drugs and alcoholism, it's psychological. It's an hallucination, okay? It doesn't make their issues any better. Why? Because now they're drunk, they're high, now they're dealing with medical issues now. Now they're having money problems because they're spending all their money on alcohol and drugs, okay? So yes, listen, just like issues occurred before drugs and alcohol was created, you know what I'm saying, and used as a medicinal purpose to be able to handle internal issues. Yes, those problems existed before they started taking, you know, the alcohol and the drugs. But what did it do when they started taking these intoxicating, life-diminishing substances? It made their situation worse. When someone can persuade me and show me out there today, anybody that's out there today, show me how gangster rap, how drugs and alcoholism, how that has improved our condition. Somebody show me today. Somebody show me today. Show me, give me some evidence and proof and show me where gangster rap, drugs, and alcoholism has made our situation better. Please show me where in history it elevated us. And you can't even say financially. Some of y'all need to watch the program called There's Rules to This Shit. Some of you need to watch that program called There's Rules to This Shit. Listen, some of these people who you think is so wealthy, they're not. Watch the New Edition story. Watch, hear me, watch the New Edition story for those who want to continuously debate with me about these situations. Okay, a lot of these guys are not as wealthy as they present themselves to be. You know why? Because the industry is stripping them of their resources. So our young people who think that going to hip hop is their way out, a lot of them, guess what? They was making more money before they even became a hip hop artist. Some managers at McDonald's and Burger King make more money than some of these hip hop artists. Because of the industry, when they signed the contract, they didn't read the contract. And they still making pennies and crumbs. New Edition, they did all these performances, had platinum albums, and they was broke. Listen to SWV story. SWV, Sisters with Voices. SWV during my time, I know some of you that may be listening to you're too young, but for the most part, I see a lot of you on here around the same age group as I am. But they will tell you they wrestled financially too. They wasn't getting paid like they were supposed to. So we look at the glory. A lot of our people, we look at the glory, but we don't even know the story. Okay? A lot of us are being pimped, and we don't understand this. We have to fight against the gangster rap culture, not hip hop culture. Okay? We need to fight against immorality. Okay? Not R&B. Okay, but it's the songs like SZA. I have to call out, I love the sister, but I got to prove to you what I'm saying. You know, SZA is SZA. Listen to a song called The Weeknd, okay? You will find out she don't mind being a side piece. Who in their right mind would want their daughters to act like Nicki Minaj and to act like Cardi B? Who in their right mind would want to see their daughters act like that? But this is the stuff as parents we allow our children to listen to. Then we want to keep blaming the white man for what's happening to us. And listen, understand it's part of the reason why we're in the state we're in is because of racism, but it's on both parties. And until we take responsibility for our actions, until we step it up in the area of morality, hear me well, family, this situation that we're going through right now will go on for decades to come. Until we start dealing with our morals, until we start dealing with our minds, until we start healing internally and saying, I got a problem. Hear me well. Hear me well. Hear me well. It's more to it than a brother stepping on their sneaker and wanting to pull out a gun. Family. Our young people are hurting. Our young people can't go to school and learn when their daddy and mama is arguing and fighting all the time. Hear what I'm saying to you. These young people's minds are messed up. Daddy fighting mama, mama fighting daddy. Daddy done divorced mama, daddy done left him. Mama barely got anything to eat in the house. We living in a car. We living from house to house. Until we deal with this moral issue, we will continue to suffer until we face it like men and women and deal with our internal problem, our psychological issues that we're even having from post-traumatic slave disorder. Until we start dealing with this here, we're going to continue to go through this for more decades, and I guarantee you it'll be centuries to come. Listen. The very thing that is the answer to our issue is the very issue that we reject. Because you know what? Let me tell you why too. I got to keep it real with you. Unfortunately, sometimes the parents is dependent on their children to save them. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes. And I'm going to say it again after this plane go by. Listen, some of the parents are living their lives vicariously through their children. Some parents, they look forward to their children being a rapper. You know why? Because, they could get us out the hood. Oh, they can save us. Listen, parent, you need to save yourself. We have to free our minds. This is our salvation right here, our minds. This is what's going to free us is our mind. Listen, what freed me from the hood is this right here. What freed me from welfare is this right here. What set me free, what was poured into me when I was an adolescent, because people were pouring into me as a young man. I seen wealthy so-called black men and women. I seen them doctors and lawyers and entrepreneurs. Our bishop back in Rochester, New York, Bishop Willie Smith Jr., is a real estate owner. We had high school teachers in the ministry we went to. Hear me now. Hear me. I seen prosperous black people. I seen it. And the only way our young people are going to see more of us is if more of us position ourselves to win instead of losing. Okay? And the parents, we got to start taking control of our minds, and then we are the ones that control the environment. You got parents out in the club twerking. It was a parent, the young lady, she was graduating from high school. The mama got out in the middle of the floor and started twerking. I was like, this is crazy. We're messed up. Oh, brother, you shouldn't be saying this live. We're messed up. Our mental issue is already live, family. So what am I hiding? What are we hiding? What are we hiding? When you got people on videos calling out World Star and everybody fighting and they sitting there laughing and our sisters fighting each other and pulling their clothes off, their breasts falling out on the plate. Come on now. Come on now. Riddle me this. What are we hiding? We want to have these so-called internal conversations. Oh, we need to be in closed doors. Negro, please. Our pain is already public. What are you talking about? Watch the news. The parents got to be set free. We got to get set free in our minds, man. We got to go back to more. We got to be more, I'm telling you, family, immorality. And this is not religious. I'm a spiritual person, first of all. Let's get that straight. Okay? I'm not religious. I am spiritual. Religious, what I do religiously is pray. That means something you do repetitively. That's religious. Okay, repetitively. So I'm religious in that sense. But I'm not religion as far as doctrine teaching. I'm a spiritual man. And I understand and I see what the problem is. First of all, I'm a parent. Let's get this straight too, so I can talk. I have a 20-year-old son. And my son has never been involved in that. You know why? Because of his mama and his daddy. My son has never grew up in a crime-infested area. Why? Because his mama and his daddy. Huh? Huh? My son knows who he is. Why? Because of his mama and his daddy. Huh? I teach my son his culture. I don't leave it up to no high school to teach my son. I don't leave it up to an elementary school to teach my. We always talk about, oh, the teacher's not teaching this. Brother and sister, hear me well. You're misguided. You're miseducated. I love you. I'm not beating you up. You got the wrong mind. That is your responsibility to teach your children their history. It is your responsibility to teach them responsible economics. Financial literacy, mom, dad, that's your responsibility. You keep talking about, oh, when the teacher, no, you need to learn it. You need to learn. A lot of our parents live in houses. A lot of our adults live in houses. They don't even know they got equity in their house. They don't know what equity is. See, this is why we perish for the lack of knowledge, because we haven't been taught. And a lot of our young people haven't been taught. And they're being taught something, but they're not being taught the right thing. They're being taught the wrong thing by even some of our actions. We the ones that's acting the fool. NWA is way older. All the members of NWA is older than these young people out here. Where did that gangster rap come from? It came from their elders. Huh? 50 Cent is their elder. He's still talking about killing and robbing and stealing and gang banging and on videos cutting the fool and talking about people and acting the fool. So how do we expect for our young people to act? You got these old OGs out here gang banging, giving drugs to these young kids, giving them guns and teaching them how to sell drugs and teaching them. This lifestyle evolved from the elders. It didn't evolve from no doggone young people. It evolved from us. Hey, Brother Carlos, how you doing, King? Robin Major said facts. Kiara said preach. Stephanie said preach on. Thank you. Everybody that's tuning in. I'm getting ready to close here. Nichelle Williams, thank you for tuning in. All right. Thank you for tuning in. My brother, my big brother, Derek Cole, thank you for tuning in. Queen Mother Kadeja, thank you for tuning in. Christopher DeBose, one of my fellow Marines in the Marine Corps, also an RB artist, man. Thank you for tuning in, man. I love your songs, brother. I appreciate your songs, man. You bringing that real R&B back. I appreciate that, King. But anyway, this is where we at right now, so I'm going to end it here. You know what I'm saying? In order, and listen to me, the only way that these things are going to transform externally, and the only way we be able to exit these external problems, excuse me, the day I'm skipping over words, I can't lie, I'm a little stirred up in a good way, because we have to get this. We really have to get this, family. We have to get this. We have to understand the only way out is in, going internal, dealing with our internal problems. Then as we transform internally, we'll see things transform in our lives externally, and then we'll be able to exit outside of these issues that we're having. We have to go within in order for things to change without. We have to go inwardly in order for things to transform externally, outwardly. It starts here in the mind. All right? It starts here in the mind. We have to go back to morals. We got to ban this gangster rap. I'm telling you, we got to stand up against these artists, okay, that's teaching our young people the wrong thing. And parents, we got to stop allowing our children. Listen, I understand what they're going to do when they're not around you. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you give in and let them do it when they're in your presence. When they do what they do when they're not around you is on them. But what they do within your presence is on you. Stop allowing them to listen to this gangster rap mess. Stop allowing them to listen to artists like Cardi B, okay, and SZA. All right? And listening to Nicki Minaj. None of them are any examples for our children. None of these gangster rappers are examples for our children. None of these hear me well. None of them are examples for our children. We got to save us. We got to take charge. You had these Caucasian people fighting and want to ban this gangster rap stuff. And I know some of them are involved in it too. I understand that. But what I'm telling you is, listen, if they don't want something in their neighborhood, guess what they do? They band together. We don't want this in our neighborhood. That's why it's not a bunch of liquor stores in their neighborhood. Because they don't allow it to happen in their neighborhood. Why are their neighborhoods trashy like ours? Because they don't allow it to be trashy like ours. We allow these things to happen. We don't care. Hear me. We don't care. I'm going to say it again. We don't care. And until we start caring, our situation that we're living in, the hell that we're living in, is going to continue to be an issue within our communities. Until we start caring about our properties, until we start caring about our communities are going to continue to be a living hell. We need mental help. We got people out there wanting to fight over the slightest. Look, what you looking at me for, B? What you looking at me for, nigga? What you looking at me for, ho? You speak to somebody, hey, what's up? Nigga, what you mean, what's up? B, what you mean, what's up? And then we wonder why we don't want to live around each other. Then we wonder why we don't want to deal with each other. Then people looking at you funny when you don't want to come around. Who want to continue to live like that? Who want to continue to deal with stuff like that? The only way for us to come out is to go in. We got to deal with our problems. We're mentally ill. We are sick. We are sick. You got people, you got husbands, you know what I'm saying, married, cheating on their wives. You got wives cheating on their husbands. You got people that know that they're married. They don't care. They still trying to sleep on them. Then you got songs out there that's catering into this mess. Now you got songs out there That's catering to this stuff. That's catering to the immorality, infidelity. Oh, I know she was somebody else, but I don't care. Oh, I know he got a woman, but I don't care. I'm going to sleep with him as long as I get happy. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And then we're so quick to blame the white man for the problems that we are allowing in our neighborhoods. Take charge of your mind, take charge of your life. And then once we do that, we'll see transformation in our neighborhoods. Once we grab onto moral principles, then we're going to see transformation in our neighborhoods. Once we stop arguing about over what this name mean, over there's no J, you know what I'm saying, in the Hebrew, oh, you know what I'm saying, I'm Kemetic, oh, I'm Hebrew, or I'm just spiritual. Once we just understand it's about applying wisdom, we're going to be okay. I'm going to say it again. Once we understand that it's about living by wisdom, then we're going to be okay. Once we stop looking for somebody to come save us and we start saving ourselves by our choices, okay? Because it's our choices that got us in the hell that we in. So it's going to have to take a choice to get us out of the hell that we in order for us to usher in heaven that we can live in. That's the only way. Morality, hear me now, I stand on moral principles is the way, not religion, okay? It's morality. Because when it all boils down to it, it's about making the right choices, period. Whether you're a Muslim, you're a Hebrew, you know, whatever you want to call yourself, Kemetic, spiritual, when it all boils down to it, guess what it's all about? Making the right choices. In other words, being wise, living by wise principles. Once we understand that my religion is love, my religion is living by wisdom, once we understand that, we grasp onto that, we're going to be in a better place. And once we stop depending on these Republicans or Democrats, or all these various public parties, once we start taking care of ourselves, we're going to be all right. Once we start putting our money back in our communities, we're going to be all right. Once we start loving each other again, we're going to be all right. Just like they did in Black Wall Street, just like they did during that time. You know why they were prosperous? Because they loved each other. You know why we're not prosperous today? Because we're lacking love. You know why we're not prosperous today? Because we're not practicing cooperative economics. You know why we're not prosperous today? Because we hate ourselves and we hate each other. You know why we're not prosperous today? Because we keep putting our issues on somebody else instead of wanting to deal with ourselves. And like our ancestor Michael Jackson said, we need to look at the man in the mirror. Doggone it, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, when I got off the bus, it wasn't no white man chasing me up the street. It was a black man trying to take mine. When I went into my house and it was burglarized, it was a black face I seen. Yeah, we could talk about who putting the drugs in our community, who made the choice to sell the damn drugs. Doggone it. I got to say it the way it is. I'm tired of it. We got to take responsibility for our own actions. Who the one took the record deal? Yeah, the white man pushing it. Yeah, we see it on TV. Yeah, we see, okay, but who made the choice to watch it, doggone it? Who made the choice to watch these television programs? Who made the choice to listen to these radio broadcasts? Huh? Who made the choice to sell the drugs? Just because a man hand you something don't mean that you don't have a choice to receive it or reject it. So let's stop playing. You know why? You know why we do it? Because we selfish. That's why. I love Brother Sway, but he invited the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on there, and he said it with his own mouth. And I did a video on it. He told the minister, he said, Minister, he said, there's things that they have me to play that I don't even want to play, but I play it because I can't do nothing about it. Yes, you can. Roland Martin did something about it. Then Roland Martin, he went to go start his own. Did he stop? Did he allow that to stop him? Roland Martin, he made a choice. Either I could stay here and I could compromise to be recognized, or I could go start my own television network that catered to our people. And that's what he did. So guess what, black man and black woman? Guess what, black teenager? Guess what, hip-hop artists and R&B artists? Don't tell me that you don't have a choice to sing lyrics or not. It was your choice. You signed the contract. Nobody made you sign. You signed the contract. You, black man or woman, you're the one who's picking up alcohol and drugs. You're the one who's doing that. Black man and black woman, you're the one who putting trash in your neighborhood, urinating in your hallways. You're the one, black man and black woman, you're the one who allowing these alcohol stores to be put in your neighborhood. Black man and black woman, you, black man and black woman, are the one who buying the gangster rap. You, black man and black woman, allowing these whorish men, these whorish women to minister to your children through their lyrics. So let's stop playing. None of it is in my house. None of it's played in my house. I don't listen to it in my radio. I don't tune into these stations. So just because it's there doesn't mean that you have to grant yourself access to it. Deny yourself access to it. It's all about a choice. You have a choice to stand up and salute that American flag. You have a choice to stand up and salute a flag that was raised up during the time that your ancestors were slaves. You have a choice, but some of you are afraid, you're scared, you don't want to lose your job. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors, listen to me right now. You know why we're in? Oh, yes. I got to hit you with it. I'm going to hit you with it good. You know the reason why we're in the situation that we're in? Because we scared and nobody want to suffer. And guess what? The benefits that you had our ancestors been scared and they wasn't willing to suffer, all of us would still be going through the same doggone thing that they went through. We wouldn't have, you know, the access to public restrooms and drinking from the same water fountain. And we wouldn't be able to speak out the way we speaking right now had our ancestors not did that. We wouldn't have never had a black president if our ancestors hadn't done anything. Hell, don't sit up there and tell me it's the same. Discrimination is. But you got a lot of these millennials today becoming millionaires because they're tapping into the information. Parents, it's our job to find out, well, how do I make this money? How do I make stocks? I hear about this thing on Wall Street called stocks. What is a stock? I hear people talking about real estate. Well, you know what I need to do? How can I do it? You know, another problem is we're not inquisitive enough. We've accepted our position of poverty and we believe that we can't, and that's the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Because we don't believe that we're capable of doing it ourselves. When we have historical data right in front of our face showed us on Black Wall Street that we had our own. But we still don't believe we could do it. We had our own gas stations. We had our own trains. We had our own buses. We had our own airplanes. Some of you don't know that. Check the record. Check the record about Black Wall Street. We had our own grocery stores. But you know what happened is? You know what happened is? Guess what would happen? We start running to the white man. Oh, yeah, we allowed the white man to lead us to believe that he and she is the best thing since sliced bread. We neglected our own people to put money in somebody else's pockets because we didn't feel like nobody until the white man told us that we somebody. Huh? They do it to us even with our own products. They tell us to put their white faces on our marketing. They tell us, oh, no, put a white person there. We've accepted that. We compromise. But black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. I'm married to a beautiful black queen. I don't need to go to no other ethnic group. My queen is good enough. I know some beautiful black women. My grandma is, my aunties is, my cousins are. Black is beautiful, baby. Mama Khadijah on here, she beautiful. Queen Stephanie on here, beautiful. Nichelle, beautiful. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. Listen, my ratings went down when I supported the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Guess what? I'm still going to say it. Black is beautiful. I'm proud to be black, and black I'm proud. Say it louder. Just like James Brown said, I just had a moment right there. It's going to be all right. I just felt good right there. I'm black and I'm proud. We can't allow anybody to make us ashamed of who we are. We got to stand up for who we are. Be blessed.